Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program tonight, the Congress party has slammed the government for creating what it calls a situation in court to get the Rajiv Gandhi case. The AG Perarivalan released, they say that these are the BJP's petty and cheap politics. A killer of Rajiv Gandhi released. The Congress party says that is unacceptable and that the BJP's petty and cheap politics are behind this. A terrorist is a terrorist and should be treated as one, is what they've said. The Congress has said that they are pained by the Supreme Court verdict ordering the release. At the same time, the DMK, the ally of the Congress, continues to celebrate the release, a sore point historically between both parties in the past. On the show tonight, one of Rajiv Gandhi's killers walked free. Should convicted terrorists be spared the death penalty? Joining us now, Pramod Swami, the BJP leader. We're also joined by Dr. Anup Surendranath, who is opposed to the death penalty in the country, and Dr. Pradeep Philip, a very special guest, someone who was actually there when the assassination took place. Let me go straight across first to Pramod Swami. Sir, your response to what the Congress party is saying, they say that the BJP has created a situation for petty and cheap politics in getting the release of one of Rajiv Gandhi's killers.
देखिए, ऐसा है कि इसमें जो निर्णय हुआ है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा हुआ है और इस तरह की जो याचिका होती है उसमें राष्ट्रपति महोदय जो है वो क्षमादान दे सकते हैं और इसके लिए जो सिफारिश जो की थी वो डीएमके और जयललिता जी की पार्टी और एक अन्य रीजनल पार्टी है, उन्होंने वहां की थी कि इनको जो है उम्र कैद की सजा से इनको जो है रिहाई की जाए। तो इसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी की इसमें कोई भूमिका नहीं है क्योंकि इसको जो सिफारिश करने वाले दल थे वो डीएमके और जयललिता थे। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऊपर में अननेसेसरी इस विवाद में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को शामिल करना किसी भी तरीके से उचित नहीं मानता।
Let me just go across, sir, to A. Saravanan, the spokesperson of the DMK. Mr. Saravanan, isn't it strange that the Congress party is extremely upset about this verdict and you, their ally, are celebrating it?
See, it is expected. See, if I have been a member of the Congress party, I will be upset. I will not take this verdict, or I will not rejoice when a killer of my leader walks out of the jail. It is expected on expected lines. But what we have to look out here is this. With great magnanimity, the Madam Sonia Gandhi, Madam Priyanka Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi have said we move forward, we are forgiven. And for Nalini's commutation of her death sentence, Madam Sonia Gandhi wrote a letter. So that shows where they stand. And
no, but that's not where the party stands at all.
I'm not getting you.
The party doesn't stand on that issue at all. The party has slammed the BJP today. They've criticized the Supreme Court judgment as well. This is your ally.
That's what the problem here is. This is not just about the release of the killers. Yet another issue of states' autonomy and the role of the governor. The BJP is using the office of the governor to undermine elected governments across the country, and in the state of Tamil Nadu also the same instance is being followed. And we rejoice the judgment because the Supreme Court severely indexes the way the governor has acted.
No, but Mr. Saravanan, there's a basic issue over here, and we'll be joined by a Congress guest, I'm told very, very soon. I want to pull up a tweet of, Arun Jaitley, the late Arun Jaitley, who a couple of years ago had tweeted this. And I want to bring this up because it sort of correctly exposes the rift between the Congress and the DMK on this issue. Let's have that up full screen, where Arun Jaitley tweeted, from May 1991 till 2004, the Congress blamed its present ally, the DMK, for Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. It even withdrew support from the United Front government on this ground. Now, several decades later, desperate Congress has discovered a BJP role. In fact, this tweet stands now. It seems strange, though, that the Congress has blamed you, Mr. Saravanan, the DMK, for Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, and yet, all these decades later, you continue to be allies.
See, that's what it used to be. There was this misconception in 1991 when the assassination happened. There was this misconception, and after what went through after the investigation and whatever happened, that misconception has been cleared. We lost power in 1991 because of what happened because of this assassination. But in 2004,
yes,
they understood who was behind this and what was the conspiracy behind this. And that is the reason why we were able to continue to be allies. And this issue, though this was little toddy, but look at the magnanimity.
Okay, I'm going to get Dinesh Gundu Rao of the Congress party in just a few moments from now. But Pramod ji, ek cheez bataiye, the BJP says that you're hard against terror, you're hard against extremism, you're hard against crime. इस पर्टिकुलर केस में आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट को अग्री करते हैं या डिसएग्री करते हैं?
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट हमारे यहाँ सर्वोच्च संस्था है, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के किसी भी जजमेंट के ऊपर में
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का वर्डिक्ट को मैं आपको क्रिटिसाइज करने में नहीं कह रहा हूं, मैं सिर्फ आपको ये पूछ रहा हूं कि आप ये समझते हैं कि ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट ठीक है या नहीं? आप इसको सपोर्ट करते हैं? सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ठीक किया है या नहीं? आपका राय इसमें क्या है?
मैं अपनी बात रखता हूं बड़े आदर के साथ। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के किसी भी जजमेंट पर पार्टी की तरफ से कोई ऑफिशियली बयान न देना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन आपने अगर प्रश्न किया है तो निश्चित रूप से उसका मैं व्यक्तिगत तौर पे मैं जवाब देना चाहूंगा कि कोई भी आतंकवादी घटना में कोई भी व्यक्ति हो, चाहे वो राजीव जी का हत्यारा हो या किसी अन्य नेता का हत्यारा हो या किसी साधारण व्यक्ति का भी हत्यारा हो, उसके ऊपर में कोई दया नहीं होनी चाहिए। लेकिन हमारा जो सिस्टम है, मैं अपनी बात कंप्लीट
कीजिए, जरूर।
हमारा जो सिस्टम है, ये हम एक फेडरल सिस्टम में जीते हैं, और इस फेडरल सिस्टम में अगर वहां की सरकार, चाहे वो जयललिता जी की हो चाहे डीएम की हो, वो अगर रिकमेंड करती है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कि इनकी उम्र कैद को रिहायत दी जाए, तो क्या कोर्ट जो है वो एक डेमोक्रेटिक व्यवस्था के तहत जुडिशरी सिस्टम अपना निर्णय लेता है? तो ये एक सवाल जो आपने खड़ा किया है, बिल्कुल एक विमर्श चर्चा इससे होनी चाहिए कि इस तरह के जो कातिल है, क्या उनके तरफ उनकी
Okay, I know, I take that point, and I want to go across to Dinesh Gundu Rao of the Congress party. Dinesh Gundu Rao, the BJP says over here, irrespective of what their position is on terrorism or extremism, the court has ruled, in fact, Article 142 of the Constitution deals with the Supreme Court's power to exercise its jurisdiction and pass an order. They have passed an order. They have passed an order as the Supreme Court. Why then are you blaming the BJP?
See, the point here is this concerns the assassination of a former Prime Minister. And when the petition was pending in front of the President of India, I think by not taking a decision, the Governor or the President of India, by not taking a decision, has left this matter to the court to decide.
Right.
And the courts, we respect whatever the court decides. But if the President of India had taken a decision of not allowing for this petition to be, or the sentence to be commuted, or for his release to be, for him to be pardoned, then this situation would not have risen. And the second thing is, see, I'm not talking about, I'm not trying to do politics here. This can be of any political party, but a former Prime Minister, when he is assassinated, and these people are guilty of assassinating the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister. So nobody is saying that they are not guilty, but for political parties to put pressure on their release, and for political parties not to act at the right time.
Okay, तो प्रमोद जी, ये साफ तौर पे दिनेश गुंडू राव कह रहे कि पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर बीजेपी ने डाला था, as a result of which ultimately this is the verdict which came. इस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
जिस डीएमके के साथ में आपने यूपीए की सरकार चलाई, वो डीएमके ने रिकमेंड किया, उसको आप क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं कर रहे हैं। आपकी नेत्री सोनिया जी, प्रियंका जी जाकर के राजीव जी के हत्यारों से जेल में मिलते हैं और उनको माफी देने की बात सरेआम कहते हैं, उसके ऊपर में आपके होठ सिल जाते हैं। और जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की कोई भूमिका नहीं है, वहां की निर्वाचित सरकार ने रिकमेंड किया है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में डिसीजन दिया है, आप सिर्फ राजनीति के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी
Let's get a response, Mr. Dinesh Gundu Rao. Why are you blaming the BJP? Shouldn't you be blaming the DMK who is celebrating the judgment? Dinesh Gundu Rao, should you not be blaming the
Our
DMK, your
stand
alliance
has been
partner
very
in
clear,
Tamil
Vishnu.
Nadu?
Our stand has been very clear that whatever the court decides, we will let the court take a decision on this.
Pramodji, एक second. Ji.
No.
But respond to what he's saying.
See, we have been very clear. No, Vishnuji, let me also say a few things. What Congress party has always said is, let the Supreme Court decide in the way it has to decide. I have no problem. There are so many other people also who are in jail, who are facing life sentences. So if there are many Tamil people also today who are in jail for the last 20 years, 30 years.
His argument is very pointed.
Let me come to the point. Let me come to the point that Tamil regional parties have taken a stand that these people should be pardoned.
Your alliance partner has taken a
all
stand.
Tamil regional parties, whether it's DMK, AIDMK, VCK, all Tamil regional parties.
But this is your alliance partner,
when this
sir.
matter was
How can the DMK be celebrating and why you are condemning it?
When
why are you criticizing the BJP and not the
nominee,
DMK?
the governor? I'm just saying the BJP's nominee, the governor in Tamil Nadu, he does not act. He passes the buck to the President of India. The President of India also does not act for inordinate delay takes place. Should they? And they all work under the advice of the Prime Minister. The governor also is a nominee of the BJP. So when they don't act, this has happened. And today, when someone who's a killer of a former Prime Minister gets released, and there are so many other people who are still in jail for long term.
This could well
why
set
can't
the precedent.
then why can't there be a simple rule that people who are there in jail for 20 years,
before
30
I
years,
open
let
up
them all be
this
released?
before I open up this debate to the others on this program, also looking at the entire issue of death penalty.
This is why we are targeting the BJP here.
Right. I just want Pramodji, last point on this. They say that ultimately you influenced the President of India. He did not act in this particular case. Please respond. Pramodji.
देखिए, राष्ट्रपति महोदय क्या निर्णय लेते हैं ये उनके सब विवेक पे निर्भर करता है। उसमें मैं ज्यादा जाना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन कांग्रेस पार्टी कंफ्यूज्ड है। पार्टी का अपना एक अलग स्टैंड बताते हैं और इनके नेता सोनिया जी और प्रियंका की इस मामले में अलग भूमिका है। तो पहले वो अपना घर ठीक कर ले कि राहुल जी इस विषय में क्या सोचते हैं, प्रियंका जी क्या सोचते हैं, क्या उनको उन्होंने जो अपील की थी इनको रिहा कर देना चाहिए, उस वक्त वो गलत थे ना, आज कांग्रेस पार्टी सही है। जरा इस कंफ्यूजन को आप लोग अपने घर में सलट ले, उसके बाद में टीवी में डिबेट करें तो ज्यादा बेहतर होगा मेरे ख्याल से।
Go ahead.
No, Vishnu ji, what Sonia ji has done and what Priyanka ji has done and what Rahul ji has done is from their personal capacity. When Nalini was in the jail and she became a mother, Sonia ji said that let her give statement on his personal that is her personal capacity. But we are talking about law.
But isn't that also at one level confusing? Dinesh Gundu Rao, when Randeep Singh Surjewala, your spokesperson today, came out all guns blazing against the BJP and criticized the judgment, isn't it in a way unusual that the Gandhis would have a deep personal view, which isn't something which is the Congress party's belief?
No, the Gandhi family, they are the ones who've suffered. They are the ones who faced personal loss, and they have faced the personal loss in their own personal manner by visiting. Also, they've gone to the jail also and visited and met one of the convicts. So they have handled it in a personal way, and Rahul ji has very clearly, even before, said also that whatever the court decides, we are fine with it.
All right.
Today, what I'm going
that's
to say is
that's because they agreed, they decided that they were in a
to
position to forgive the killers,
pardon,
which is their magnanimity. But the Congress party seems to think differently. Yeah, but I just want to go across now. I want to open this up.
Giving a special treatment on this matter.
Okay, I want to go across to Dr. Anup Surendranath.
Aren't there so many other convicts who are facing life imprisonment in jails?
Dr. Surendranath, Executive Director of Project 39A. Got it, Dinesh Gundu Rao. I'll come back to you in a moment. You've waged a battle, not just in this case, but in so many other cases, making the point that the death penalty doesn't work, it should be abolished. There are strong statistics to indicate that it perhaps doesn't work. Perhaps something to suggest that even when it exists, it doesn't necessarily deter crime. However, how would you respond to those who say that in the case of the assassination of a prime minister, in the case of terrorism or extremism, this is something that needs to be used more effectively?
So, Vishnu, I'd say that Perarivalan's case is a perfect example of all that is wrong with our criminal justice system. right? Here you have a case where, we keep referring to him as the killer of Rajiv Gandhi. And there is serious amount of doubt that has been stated by the investigating officer who recorded his confession under TADA, that he has admitted in the Supreme Court on affidavit that he did not properly record his confession under TADA. So this is a case of gross injustice. And
important point. But and I understand that, but that doesn't answer my question.
No, but see, the Supreme Court is not saying he's not guilty, right?
Sure,
Supreme Court is not saying that he's not done his crime. Supreme Court is not saying that he's innocent. So you don't impute that on. We can't do a debate over here whether he is guilty or not.
No, that's not my point. I think there are larger questions of justice, and I wish the Congress would learn and that there is an alternate politics of justice that it can pursue. On the question of the death penalty for terrorism, I think world over it is seen that the death penalty is not an effective response to terrorism, right? If at all anything, it creates more martyrs, right? And you'll see it, even Britain, which introduced the death penalty into India, abolished the death penalty at the height of the Irish problem, right? In Northern Ireland, saying that it does not work. It creates martyrs. So I don't get this logic. And even if you look at the statistics, India does not use the death penalty in its conflict zones, right? The death penalty is not used. So it is a great political tool of convenience to invoke the death penalty every time there is terrorism.
Okay.
But on this particular case, I think the Congress would be very wise to look at the larger questions of injustice.
The facts are being misplaced over here. The facts are being misplaced here because they are now facing life imprisonment. They are not on death penalty. All
yes,
7 of them.
I agree, sir. But the question was on the death penalty, right?
So if Supreme Court is going to say that life imprisonment means okay, then let Supreme Court say life imprisonment.
All right, I take that point that in this particular case it was life imprisonment, but I'm asking on the larger issue, and I just want to go across to Seema Samriddhi about this.
Should there not be a standard way of operating for this?
Sure. Seema Samriddhi, Dinesh Gundu Rao makes a larger point that why are we necessarily looking at the death penalty in a case where life has been given? But I think the question that does need to be asked in the most extreme cases, such as terrorism, the death of a prime minister, assassination, should this not be used by the state more regularly? How would you respond?
सर ये मैटर अगर कहें तो पॉलिटिकल रिलीज है, इसको मैं पॉलिटिकल रिलीज कहूंगी क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल अगर हम बात करें जो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन के नीचे हैं, जो कि विदाउट फाइलिंग द चार्जशीट जेल में उनके कोई बेल के लिए अप्लाई उन्होंने नहीं किया गया है, अगर उससे पहले भी नल्ली को अगर रिलीज किया गया तो फिर अदर टेररिस्ट जो है जिनको हम कहेंगे कि हमारी कंट्री में जो मुस्लिम टेररिस्ट है उनका कन्विक्शन हुआ है। बट ये मैटर, चूंकि ये मैटर जितना मैं अंडरस्टैंड कर पा रही हूँ कि पॉलिटिकल होने की वजह से इसमें रिलीज हुआ है, हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री
सुप्रीम कोर्ट तो पॉलिटिकल नहीं है सीमा जी, यू कांट से दैट द सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज पॉलिटिकल।
नो डाउट कि हमारे राजीव गांधी जी गांधी परिवार के एक मेंबर थे, फैमिली मेंबर, बट वो हमारे देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे। अगर हमारे देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर का इस तरीके से उनका मर्डर किया गया प्लान्ड वे में, और सर इस तरीके से अगर रिलीज कर दिया जाएगा तो इम्पैक्ट क्या पड़ेगा? पॉलिटिकल जो मर्डर हो रहे हैं उन पर क्या
ये पॉलिटिकल चीज आप छोड़िए, आप आई एम आस्किंग यू एज अ सुप्रीम कोर्ट लॉयर, और इसमें द लॉ इज वेरी डिटेल्ड, तो इस पे आपका राय क्या है? आपके ख्याल से कैपिटल पनिशमेंट शुड एग्जिस्ट, यस और नो?
सर इसमें 2-3 जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है जिसको मैंने रीड आउट किया है, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट है कि उनका कंडक्ट है वो बहुत अच्छा है, उनकी क्वालिफिकेशन अच्छी है, एकेडमिक उनका अच्छा है, उनका बिहेवियर अच्छा है। तो सर इस तरीके के बिहेवियर क्या जो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन के नीचे लोग हैं उनका नहीं है?
नहीं जरूर, आप एक लार्जर पॉइंट नहीं सीमा जी, आप एक लार्जर पॉइंट रेज कर रहे हैं जो बहुत वैलिड पॉइंट है। आप मेरे क्वेश्चन का जवाब नहीं दे रहे।
मनु शर्मा, क्या मनु शर्मा का ही कंडक्ट अच्छा होगा? उनकी एजुकेशन, उनका ही वेल बिहेवियर अच्छा होगा? क्या पेरीवल्ली जो है ये पॉलिटिक्स,
तो आप ये साफ तौर से क्यों नहीं कह रहे कि ये जो ऑर्डर है ये गलत है, ये गलत था? आपके ख्याल से ये गलत था या नहीं?
मैं सर कोर्ट पर क्वेश्चंस नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं इस पूरे
कोर्ट पे क्वेश्चंस नहीं, आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग इफ यू एग्री विद इट और नॉट।
नो सर, ये पूरा नैरेटिव है, उस पर एक प्रश्न है कि पिक एंड चूज वाली जो स्ट्रेटजी है वो हमारी कंट्री के ऑल ओवर जो हमारी कंट्री का एक
Dinesh Gundurao, go ahead. Seema ji, respectfully, not I haven't got a clear answer from you, but then Dinesh Gundurao, go ahead.
Vishnuji, see, one is, like what she is saying, there are many, like the Tamil governments and the Tamil political parties have said that this person should be freed. Fine. But there are so many other Tamils who are in jail for similar charges or facing life imprisonment or life sentences. Should not there be a standard way of operating? And here, this is an exceptional case. Killing of a Prime Minister is not an ordinary case.
Okay.
So, in an exceptional case like this,
Dinesh ji, let me interrupt you because we've got a very important guest with us.
People who are in jail?
We've got a very important guest with us, and I really want to hear what Dr. Pradeep V. Philip has to say. He is a former DGP, and he was there when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. Sir, today when you see the killers walk, as somebody who sworn an oath to protect the law of the land, what do you feel, sir?
Yes, not only as a senior police officer, an IPS officer who has completed 35 years and laid down office last September, but as a victim and survivor of the most sensational case in India's history since independence.
Yes. What do you
Apart
feel,
from the assassination of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, this was certainly one of the most sensational assassinations in the history of the country and the history of the world. It is the first in the series.
We know all this, sir. I am asking, sir, do you believe that justice has been served with this man, one of the killers, walking out?
Yeah, so I am just telling you the background. So
no, we know the background, sir.
No, the day I retired, I applied for my bloodstained cap and nameplate from the same Tata court that convicted these accused. And at that time, I made a public statement that the time has come for closure as far as I'm concerned, and in my personal capacity, like the Gandhi family, I forgive them. And therefore, there's so much water flown down the Ganges and the Kaveri, and that it is time that the cause of justice has been served.
Okay.
And previously, it was understood in jurisprudence that 14 years was life sentence.
Yes.
But there is no consensus
that
what constitutes life sentence. So the legal minds of India should exercise itself on this case and arrive at a clear definition of what is a life sentence. And in my view, that since 31 years, the accused had served in jail. He's not coming out as an innocent enlarged or released by the Supreme Court, but he is a fully convicted prisoner. There is no debate on guilt or innocence here. He was a guilty person, convicted, and after serving the full sentence, he has been released, largely on certain technical issues. And I do not find much blame to lie on this.
Dr. Philip, just one question to you before I move on. You know, you were there when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. How close were you to the blast yourself, sir?
I was the only one ahead of him. I was 3 feet ahead of him with no one between me and him when when a group of women surrounded him, including the assassin. And I still carry 100 steel splinters in my body. And 2 days later, on 31st anniversary day after, we are having a ceremony to honor the martyrs, the police martyrs who have been ignored, and the survivors who, like me, we gave our blood, we gave our sweat, we did our best, but it was a world's first human bomb, and no force on earth could have prevented it.
I understand, sir, and we thank you deeply, you know, for your courage and your service. I'm running short on time. I just want to go across one sec, sir, to Mr. Pugajendi of the AIADMK. Sir, can you tell us, you know, in a situation like this where there are deep politics taking place between the DMK and the Congress, also the DMK and the Congress and the BJP, where does your party stand? Do you believe that the Supreme Court verdict is the right way? Do you believe that why do you not believe that a terrorist like this should not have been executed ultimately? or should have remained in jail at least for the rest of his life.
As a former spokesperson of ADMK party, this is the 2014 passed the resolution by that former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Madam Jayalalitha, and for release all the 7. Sir, this is the kept by this President of India kept more than 11 years, then again 2.5 years. Like this continuously kept, not decided anything from the President of India and the Governor. This is a long battle of law, continuously fighting. Since beginning, this is the problem is going on. This is the problem is this Perarivalan, that given the 2 battery or something, helped the whatever may be, that you are saying terrorism, whatever may be, he doesn't know, innocent, that we have lost the leader Rajiv Gandhi, absolutely no doubt. We are also feeling that. But unfortunate, not decided anything from the government side.
You cannot call him innocent.
2-3 times passed the resolution, forwarded to the governor. Today the judgment is very clear that clearly governor cannot overrule.
Right, and in fact that's the key point. The governor cannot overrule. That's what the role of the governor has been spelt out by the Supreme Court. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to wrap this up. Couple of comments have come in from our viewers. Manohar Mahato says, what kind of example is the court trying to set by releasing the killer of an ex-prime minister? Rohit Sen says, Perarivalan has a different story. It's an honorable court that decided to free him. It's not giving a message that all convicted terrorists should be spared the death penalty. We're out of time on Left, Right and Centre. From all of us here, good night.